and they put out signature Caitlin Clark balls and other merch that literally sold out within minutes.
Nike is now aggressively advertising Caitlin Clark on a number of platforms after finally recognizing her, as the WNBA star A. Wilson is upset about the change after a recent reaction forced Nike to increase Caitlin Clark's promotion. Some fans continue to maintain that AA is the best player in the league.
Moment exactly. Why we're talking about Caitlin Clark.
Exactly. Why when Asia was releasing a shoe were we talking about
AA Wilson feels she should receive the most promotion because she is the major attraction, but the statistics on fan interaction unfortunately indicate different.
Wilson is the best player in the league. Well, she has come out and she has made some more comments, and it is like these players just don't want these new fans, even though the new fans are the ones that drive the revenue.
Despite being the best player this season, AA doesn't connect as well with consumers when it comes to marketing, while A's products frequently go unnoticed. Caitlin Clark's merchandise sells out instantly, demonstrating the stark difference in their marketability and fan engagement.
Her play on the court doesn't always equate to how many shoes you will sell.
Although AA Wilson still believes she can compete with Caitlin Clark, Nike's pledge to give her more exposure hasn't worked out. Because Caitlin is still playing well, it's clear that AA is finding it difficult to cope with the pressure, and your performance on the court doesn't always translate into how many shoes you'll sell. Nike is Aya Wilson's reaction demonstrating a commitment to Caitlin Clark's talent and marketability by finally stepping up their promotion of her, acknowledging her as the WNBA's true star. Despite AA Wilson's attempts to overshadow her, let's hope A doesn't try to sabotage Caitlin's success again, as she did a few weeks ago.
I don't really listen to, honestly, because I'm in season. I have other things that we need to worry about than what other people have.
Nike first supported AA Wilson as their primary WNBA representative, but as Caitlin Clark's fan base grew, the company was unable to ignore her discussions about Clark-dominated social media sports news, and even reached casual basketball fans who had not previously paid much attention to the WNBA, realizing that this was more than just a passing trend, but a major change in women's basketball. Nike saw how critical it was to team up with Clark in order to take advantage of a fantastic opportunity and solidify their place in the changing women's sports environment.
Had a bunch of these players to get very jealous and petty very quick.
Nike was hesitant to make big decisions at first, since they had already made a large investment on Wilson as their reliable star. But as time went on, their hesitation began to wane. Caitlin Clark was leading a movement in addition to She Took My Spot. Being a gifted athlete, Nike saw a great opportunity when young fans in particular rallied around her because they saw her as a role model. In the end, it became evident to Nike that backing Clark matched with their vision for the future of women's basketball, which led them to change their marketing approach.
Elevating the sport shine ultimately benefits you. Go out there, compete with her, try to bust her up if you want to, and all of that stuff. Just don't hate on the acclaim that
bunch of these players to get very jealous and petty very quickly. Nike had to face the fact that Caitlin Clark was quickly emerging as one of the most marketable athletes in women's sports. Even though her on-court performance was a major factor in this growth, Nike realized that her appeal went well beyond conventional basketball fans. Nike decided to completely invest in promoting Clark as the face of the WNBA when she became well known and started conversations in a variety of circles, making her crossover appeal extremely beneficial for the company. Somebody coming along and elevating the sport shine ultimately benefits. You go out there, compete with her, try to bust her up.
This season, and Asia, despite being a third-time MVP, her jersey sales were 5th in the league, even after Kate Martin, who barely saw the court the second half.
Emotional efforts toward her, which understandably didn't sit well with Asia. This was a turning point for Nike because they realized they needed to change their approach, because Clark was gaining new fans, drawing a diverse audience, and creating an excitement that was hard to duplicate. Wilson felt jealous of Clark's quick rise, and it wasn't only about the more attention Clark was getting. Wilson thought she had earned the attention only to have it seeming to be taken away from her. We saw the jersey bearers we didn't actually see the actual numbers, but we saw the top jersey sales in the WNBA this season in Asia. Despite being a third-time MVP, her jersey sales were fifth in the league, even after Kate Martin, who barely saw the court the second.
Drive TV ratings. That's not what he does. That's who Asia Wilson is. But she has to adopt this mindset of, I'm owed this, and you white girls need to back your ass up while I get what's owed to me. It's all just it's in.
Previously viewed as a humble and hard-working star who led. Conclusion, her performance, due to talking her remarks about Clark, suddenly came off as angry and resentful. Those who had earlier rallied behind her began to worry whether Wilson could take the burden of sharing the spotlight with another emerging star. This shift in perception wasn't positive for Wilson. She's the Tim Duncan of the WNBA, doesn't sell shoes, doesn't drive TV ratings. That's not what he does. That's who AJ Wilson is, but she has to adopt this mindset of I'm out this and you white girls need to back your ass up while I get what's owed to me. It's all just its endless reparation. Caitlin Clark's rise to stardom transcended her basketball skills. It was her unique ability to connect with fans that set her apart. Audiences saw something special in Clark that went beyond just the game. She was relatable, charismatic, and most importantly, thrilling to watch each time she stepped on.
Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of me. Like, it's not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that.
Clark built with her fans was pivotal to her marketability. People searched out her jerseys, follow her on social media, and look for ways to help her because they wanted to be a part of her story rather than just watch her play. This kind of unconditional fan dedication is extremely uncommon and attracts the attention of major brands like Nike. Saw that leveraging Clark's fan following might generate significant profits, making her an important component of their marketing plan. Paige bears us as black women. Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like you say, you're not really about me, no, and she knows how her privilege has gotten her for that point. When Nike started to release merchandise related to Caitlin Clark, the response was nothing short of amazing. Her name was printed on jerseys that were flying off the shelves, and even basic items like posters and t-shirts sold out quickly. Nike saw this as a huge business opportunity and couldn't afford to overlook the real game. But the fans of Clark's custom shoes had been waiting impatiently for this moment. And when Nike hinted at creating a shoe bearing her name, the excitement reached new heights. It was generally accepted that the shoe would sell out in a matter of minutes after it was formally released. Clark's devoted and ardent fan base was ready to buy anything with her name for Asia and was ready to support her at every opportunity. Wilson's
the WNBA, yes. Is Caitlin Clark currently the face of the WNBA? Yes. Do I think if Asia Wilson dropped a shoe and Caitlin Clark dropped a shoe today at the very same time, that Caitlin Clark would outsell Asia's shoe by 100 times? Yes, I think that would be the
out numbers that Clark was producing, and this discrepancy was a major reason why Nike decided to change their marketing strategy. It was just a business decision motivated by market conditions. It wasn't personal. Is Asia Wilson currently the best player in the WNBA? Yes. Is Caitlin Clark currently the face of the WNBA? Yes. Do I think if Asia Wilson dropped a shoe and Caitlin Clark dropped a shoe today at the very same time, that Caitlin Clark would outsell Asia's shoe by 100 times? Yes, I think that would be the case. Nike could no longer overlook Caitlin Clark because they realized that increasing their marketing of her would result in more sales and greater brand awareness. Two important criteria that ultimately influenced their choice to support AA. This type of economic success is what brands aspire to. Wilson found this change difficult to accept since in a competitive world of sports, marketing difference is what counts most. Despite her incredible accomplishments on the court, her apparel sales just couldn't match Clark's. Being one of the biggest brands in the world, Nike doesn't make snap decisions, so their choice to shift their focus from Wilson to Clark wasn't chosen carelessly, rather was a result of careful consideration and strategic planning. Although players like Angel Reese,
she couldn't tell left and right, and it's bothering y'all, and I see it. Let's go, Caitlin. Hey, do me a favor, CC. Send your favorite uncle a jersey with your autograph on it. And
back off. Once Caitlin Clark became Nike's main celebrity, this shift emphasizes the harsh reality of sports marketing, where financial success frequently triumphs over devoted followership. Y'all stop being petted, stop being cat, because she like a double-edged sword. She cutting tail left and right. And if bothering y'all, and I see it, let's go, Caitlin, hey, do me a favor, Cece, send your bow, send your favorite, or a jersey with your autograph on it. And from Nike's point of view, this change was solely about the numbers Clark was attracting more. Spectators, creating more excitement, and eventually increasing revenue. It had nothing to do with selecting one player over another or pronouncing Caitlin Clark superior to AIA Wilson. However, this transition was anything but easy for Wilson. She had been the face of Nike's WNBA campaigns for years, and now it seemed as though they were moving on without her from Nike's perspective. However, this was the natural evolution of the business. Clark represented the future, and investing in her was a...
I'm so happy for her. I mean, she's deserved it.
Yeah.
Asia has been somebody that's inspired me, not just on the court, but off the court. And as a Black woman, her story, being from South Carolina and everything behind that. So I'm super happy for her. I wish if I could wear Nike, I would definitely...
Emotional toll of a fast-changing scene, and her discontent was evident. What do you think about her shoe? Sorry, I love her shoe. I'm so happy for her. I mean, she's deserved it. Asia has been somebody that's inspired me, not just on the court, but off the court, and as a Black woman, her story being from South Carolina and everything behind that. So I'm super happy for her. I wish if I could wear Nike, I would definitely wear her shoe for Wilson AA. She had devoted herself to establishing her brand around her relationship with Nike. So when they started to prioritize Caitlin Clark, it felt like all of her hard work was being ignored. Wilson's anguish and frustration were evident. Nike's strategic shift was more than just a business decision. It was a deeply personal moment. Wilson's relationship with Nike had always been solid. She had proudly represented the company for years as the face of significant campaigns and embraced her leadership position in the WNBA. However, the harsh truth was that despite being a top player, Wilson struggled to turn her success into marketability. And Caitlin...
What they want to consume and who they want to consume, whether you like it or not, and it's not up to Asia Wilson to let any...
Wilson's battle that being a great player does not always translate into stardom, which is where Clark shown seriously the arrogance. All people are going to consume what they want to consume and who they want to consume, whether you like it or not. And it's not up to Asia Wilson to let anybody do anything. Caitlin Clark's ascent to fame has had a positive impact on the WNBA, advancing not only her career but the league as a whole. Her capacity to draw spectators and create enthusiasm has also brought women's basketball, something the WNBA has long sought, new attention. Clark's on-court performance isn't what makes her stand out. It's also her special bond with fans and the contagious energy she brings to the game. Her captivating presence has attracted viewers who may not have previously followed the WNBA.
In sports, y'all, according to Fanatics, led by the one and only Michael Rubin, Clark's Indiana Fever jersey is apparently sold out in all sizes. It was rumored that she actually outsold Dallas Cowboys.
Selling jerseys in sports, y'all, according to Fanatics, led by the one and only Michael Rubin, Clark's Indiana Fever jersey is apparently sold out in all sizes. It was rumored that she actually outsold Dallas Cowboy jersey because of Clark's popularity. Brands that previously might not have been interested in collaborating with the WNBA are now eager to do so. This increased sponsorship interest means more money for the league, which can be used to upgrade facilities, increase player salaries, and promote the game to a wider audience. The WNBA is also beginning to receive sponsorship deals because of Clark's success. More people are becoming interested in women's basketball and are beginning to perceive the WNBA as a league with exciting great players, which is changing the perception of the sport. Clark's success demonstrates the enormous market for women's sports and how it is advancing the WNBA. Her value is felt every place she goes, every arena she goes. TV, ratings value. In her public remarks, Wilson expressed her dissatisfaction and made it apparent that she believes she should be given more credit. This is a pivotal point in Wilson's career, and her future actions will determine how she is viewed. Will she allow this circumstance to define her, or will she overcome it and demonstrate that she is still among the best players in the league? We know that Caitlin is a huge star who can support herself on the court while also being a major marketing genius. Asia needs to accept this. Wilson must choose how she wants to handle the situation going forward. She can continue to publicly express her frustrations, or she can concentrate on her game.
WNBA draft, the doubleheader to open the NBA season.
WNBA draft, the double-headed open NBA season. Ratings for Asia Wilson. Although this change Maybe annoying, it's a good thing for the WNBA overall. Other players are benefiting from Clark's success, which is also pushing the league to new heights. Wilson may feel marginalized for the time being, but overall Clark's descent is a victory for women's sports. It's unfortunate that some players don't want to see Caitlin's rise and don't see what she's doing for the sport. Everyone involved benefits from Clark's ability to grow the WNBA by bringing in new fans and landing sponsorship deals. Hopefully players will soon realize Caitlin's impact. If you liked it, please give a like and subscribe. There are now more videos visible. Nike has finally acknowledged live. So yes, the WNBA was growing
clear, but it was growing incrementally compared to the exponential growth you're seeing now. And this is just data. This is just objective facts. Be mad with data. Please do not be mad at me.